A wave slammed into the delicate hull of the ship as it danced back and forth over the surface of the cold, glass sea. The wind screamed its displeasure at being challenged as the ancient sail squirmed against its fastenings. The lonely occupant watched on in horror. Francis straightened. He wrenched himself free from the icy fingers of the bilge that clawed over his feet and stared in disbelief at his desolate surroundings. The horizon loomed over him as he tried to make sense of the bleak circumstances he had found himself in. Thoughts raced through his mind as his eyes flitted from prow to stern of his lonely vessel. He had no recollection of how he might have ended up in this situation. Panic seized him as another wave struck the side of the boat, sending him stumbling into the mast which he grasped with some hopes of steadying himself. He glanced around with no real inclination of what he might be searching for. There was nothing he could recognize as being involved in steering. Not that he would have been able to have done so much as turn the craft, as it was once again thrown into the air, silent for a brief moment before crashing back into the malicious embrace of the water. Francis grasped at a nearby rope, a vague hope that it might be connected to the sail in some manner. His tired fingers burned as he wrestled with it, minutes passing in utter chaos as he tugged back and forth like a butter knife carving stone as his ship was constantly thrown across the surface of the sea, slowly filling with water which flowed over its side, with every wave that continued to pummel its hull with pale fists. Black shapes began to fill his vision, clouding the area like spectres, perching upon every available patch of artificial land. Birds, he thought. What in God's name? The absurdity gripped him as he stared on with ghostly eyes, unmoved by the hell that was taking place around him. Their feathers rippled with the wind, but their gazes did not falter, as if held in place by some unnatural force. Their stare would not move from where he stood, his face succumbing to the madness unfolding before his eyes. The ship turned suddenly from the path of a wave, sending a sheet of water over its wayward captain. Gasping and choking, his eyes burning with salt, Francis fell to his knees as hopelessness crushed him. His eyes would have failed to reopen, if not for a faint orange glimmer he had seen for a moment through the misty distance. A lantern. It had to be. With the last of his fading strength, Francis hauled himself up onto the side of the ship, his arms hanging uselessly over the barrier between him and oblivion. He thought he could make an outline of another boat, larger, steadier than his own. "Please," he croaked, his voice barely more than a whisper, weak with desperation. "Please," he rasped. "I'm here. I'm still here."